a lot of Christians seem to feel as if Jesus should, or God, and or the Holy Spirit ought to have pity upon them for all of their sufferings, if God did not spare his own son. He didn't. He gave up his only begotten Son. He sacrificed what was the most important thing to him. Now, if you look back in the Bible in Genesis, we read that Abraham was ready to sacrifice Isaac. Isaac was the child of the promise. Ishmael was like the alternative. I mean, that's the truth. If you follow the Bible, you could follow your alternative history if you wish. Yes? Well, would you mind just going downstairs and looking and seeing what's it? I gotta pause this. I'm sorry. I suppose I must needs continue with the evangelism, etc., because, of course, when the Germans came over, the Germans kind of get a bad rap because everybody thinks, well, the Germans are a bunch of Nazis. Yeah, I know. Hitler himself kind of was a Nazi, but I don't know, he was part Jewish too. I mean, it's just like a little bit Antichrist there. I mean, it's like, why would you hate your own kind so much? But Hitler had a bad background. He came from a hard-scrabble background where maybe he didn't know his father. He might have been a bastard, and his mother was too nurturing and all that sort of thing. I don't know. But the Moravians came over. The Mennonites and the Amish came over, and they were peaceful, good Christian people. And Moravians, particularly, at least I know in Ohio, they did try to help the Native Americans to learn about the gospel and the hope which we have in the gospel. I mean, there's a great deal of hope, folks. I'm not saying that the white, we say white, white, we say white, we don't mean, it's like we all have alabaster skin. Some of us have dark skin. The white people treated the Native Americans correctly, or the African Americans, but remember, I'm from Ohio. We didn't have slavery in Ohio. We're the Underground Railroad. We're actually helping people to come to freedom and get away from slavery. I mean, do we get any credit for that whatsoever? Or are you just going to blame all people that aren't, swarthy or dusky? It's not fair. It's not fair at all. Especially since we know that slavery continues in Saudi Arabia and in the rest of continental Africa. Slavery exists and you ignore it and you act like it's not a thing and you don't care. There are people in America right now. I mean, let's talk about, like in England a few years ago, like these Arabic people actually tortured a French girl to death. She was like a French nanny. They tortured her to death. They tortured her and then they drowned her. Oh, Jesus, have mercy. I mean, is there any, white life, what about French Lives Matter? I mean, but, I feel sorry about that. I feel sorry about all the terrible atrocities in the world, but white people are not to blame. I mean, there's a lot of Asian people that are to blame for the terrible atrocities, perhaps in, what do you want to say, Thailand, where little children are just like raped and used as sexual objects. Does anybody give a goddamn about that? Does anybody give a goddamn about it? And does anybody give a goddamn about the one-child policy in China? Does anybody give a goddamn about the coronavirus, which they created because they're genocidal, homicidal, Nazi culture? China, go fuck yourself to hell. Thank you. Goodbye.